anytime we're feeling strong feelings, whatever is happening around us consistently at that moment usually gets linked to it. That's called an anchor. That's what a neuroassociation is. So, for example, if you were in a situation in your life where somebody yelled at you, and while they're yelling at you, they gave you a certain kind of look, later on in your life, somebody may give you that same look, and you might get angry right away. Have you ever had that happen? You go, don't look at me that way. And they go, what way? Or I'll give you another example. What happens to you when you see a spinning red light in your rear view mirror? You get a state change? You better believe it. That's a neuroassociation. What's happening at that moment is you've learned to link that spinning red light to some rather negative emotions. How did it happen? Well, one time you got pulled over. You didn't, like, wake up one day, or you didn't get born where you came out of your mother's womb and said, okay, copper. Right? That's not how it happened. What happened was you were driving along, minding your own business, being a good citizen. And one day, somebody pulled you over for no reason. And sure enough, they scared the heck out of you, wrote you a ticket, and you got mad, or you felt scared. And maybe that happened enough times to now you just see a spinning red light and you feel a state change. Or you hear the sound, you feel a state change. Is that a fair assessment? That's called anchoring again. So remember, anchors happen whenever we're in highly emotional states. By the way, they happen even when we don't want them to. If, let's say, you've had a horrible day at work, and you come home, and you're feeling pretty angry and upset about something, and you come home to your husband or wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whoever, significant other, as they now say, and sure enough, they try and cheer you up, but you're in such a negative place that nothing works. You just stay angry, and they keep trying to express to you that it'll be okay, and you stay angry, and you're angry while you see their face, angry while you see their face, angry while they see their face. Pretty soon, let's say that happens for 2 or 3 straight days. Let's say the 4th day, you have a great day. God, you feel great. You can't wait to be home with your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, significant other. And you walk through the door, feeling great, can't wait to be with them. You look at their face, and within a few seconds, you feel angry. Or all of a sudden, you start fighting for no reason. Have you ever seen something like this happen? I know not in your life, but maybe in other people's lives. My hallucination is you probably have. That's called anchors. We've got to be careful. Anytime we're in strong states, things get linked up. That's how our memories are. Have you ever noticed, like when you remember something, many times that memory will remind you of something else. You go, oh, I was trying to think of that before. Oh, yeah, do you remember this? And it's like this network of associations in our mind. So that's how the brain works. Those associations are happening all the time. And sometimes they totally disempower us, and sometimes they have nothing to do with reality. I'll give you an example. I was doing a seminar one time. Here I am, bouncing along, talking in the front of the room. I had about 600 people in the room. And I'm speaking. I'm really cranky. And up on the stage next to me was this knight. What I mean is, literally a suit of armor. And I was using it as a kind of a fun metaphor for the story I was telling at the time. And sure enough, as I'm talking, when I walked in the area of the stage where the knight was standing, all of a sudden my microphone started to go crazy with all this static. And then as I walked away, the static seemed to go away as well. So I kept on talking, and sure enough, as I got close to that same spot, all of a sudden my microphone, the static started going crazy again. Well, you can guess what happened. Immediately, people in the audience turned to me and said, it's the knight. That's the problem. Stay away from the knight. And I said, boy, you guys sure link things up pretty quick. I'm not convinced. I only did it twice, and you're already convinced it's the knight? You've already associated the knight as the problem? I said, I don't think that's true. And I walked away from the knight, and it stopped having static. And they said, see? And I walked towards it again, and sure enough, the static happened again. And I walked away, and the static kept on going. And I kept walking, and it kept on going. And I walked over the knight, and it stopped. I looked at them and said, what do you believe now? They looked rather confused. What actually turned out was there was a police car going by, and it was interfering with my signal. See, a lot of times in life, we link up things. We go, the reason I didn't succeed is because of this. Or if this would have happened, my life would have been this way. Or if you hadn't done that, this would happen. But I got to tell you, a lot of our neuroassociations have no basis in reality. They feel real to us, but they are totally disempowering because they have nothing to do with what actually went on. So in the next tape, what you're going to study is how to change your neuroassociation specifically, step by step. But you already know how to create it. If you're in an emotional state, something happens consistently while you're in the peak, you're going to link it up, just like Ivan Pavlov and the dogs. Remember him? He took these dogs, didn't feed them, put food in front of them. As soon as they saw the food, whammo! Immediately they felt hungry. While they're feeling hungry, ring a bell. Feeling hungry, ring a bell. Feeling hungry, ring a bell. So pretty soon, the two got linked. As soon as he rang a bell, whammo, they felt hungry. Now, even though the bell had nothing to do with it, that's what advertisers have done with you for years. It's now time for you to take control back. It's time for you to advertise in your own mind. So if you want to change the direction of your life, your ultimate destiny, and how you feel now, you got to change these associations. Take a look at the most successful people around you and see how 1 or 2 simple associations change their entire life. Hey, here's a guy, Donald Trump. Donald Trump obviously has linked massive pleasure to developing business deals where he makes a lot of money. Much more pleasure than you or I have, and pain to not succeeding in those areas. So he's got the carrot and the stick driving him crazy in that area. It's made him a billionaire in about 12 years. Now you say, well, those aren't my goals. Well, look at Mother Teresa. Who is this woman? She is a woman who is about totally giving. Why? Because years ago she linked up in her head that there's going to be massive pain in the world unless she did something on a massive scale to help people. She also linked that if she could help people, it mean ultimate pleasure, and it controlled her entire destiny. Bruce Springsteen years ago linked rock and roll was the way to have ultimate pleasure and the way to avoid pain. Hey, take a look. Michael Jackson, growing up, was not allowed not to practice. Not to practice meant ultimate pain. His family, you didn't go out until you'd done your practice, till you'd gotten your singing, your dancing up to speed. And because of that discipline of his need to avoid pain, simultaneously he got good. And people noticed that. And he gave him all this attention, all this appreciation. And what it created for him was ultimate pleasure. And it's pulled him into a direction in his life that's created ultimate excellence in his particular area of expertise. Hey, Steven Spielberg, I mean, take a look. If you want to understand why people are successful, just look at their neuroassociations. That'll tell you what's driven their life and their destiny. Steven Spielberg, one of the great movie makers, I think, out there, in that he really entertains his audiences in a very powerful and fun way. From little kids to people at the most mature of ages. How does he pull it off to affect that many different people? Because he's a genius, obviously. Well, how did he become a genius? Hey, genius is nothing but focusing your action in a consistent way to get a result that you're committed to. If you do that every single day, and every day you strive to be better, and every day you make more distinctions, you'll become what other people call a genius. That's called power. And why has he done that, though? Why has he spent all of these years focusing on how to change people's states? Because years and years ago, he found out he could have ultimate pleasure by scaring the heck out of his sisters. And finally, he thought, God, I could do it and make movies, and I don't even have to be there, and I can scare people. That became a driving force, was to change people's states and create those feeling shifts in people, and he loved it. And that drove him. It drove him to go further and further and further. Now, those aren't the only neuroassociations, but those are some of them. So I got a question for you. What would be the ultimate neuroassociations that you would need in order to create your life the way you're committed to having it be? In order for you to create the destiny that you really want? What would be your associations that you would create or link to things like learning, growing, giving, money, challenging yourself, taking risks, relationships, commitment, power? What are some of the negative neuroassociations that may be holding you back, and what are some of the empowering ones you need? Let's do an exercise with that right now, and then tomorrow we're going to show you exactly step by step how to use neuroassociative conditioning. But right now, let's at least get aware of them and make some changes. So here's your assignment for today. Right now, pull out your success journal, and I want you to write down 3 neuroassociations that you made in the past that have shaped your destiny for the positive, and 3 neuroassociations that you created in the past that are limiting your life even today. Now, for example, I told you that for me, empowering associations were things like linking alcohol to pain. For me, because I felt that empowered me. I didn't ever have to use alcohol, and I'd had more energy in my life and more physical health. I told you that linking up learning and giving as pleasurable experiences have really shaped my destiny. The third one I didn't mention is public speaking. A lot of people, public speaking is the most painful thing they can imagine. In fact, on large numbers of fear lists, where people have been interviewed, public speaking is something people are as afraid of as much as death, sometimes more. But for me, I linked up ultimate pleasure. That's the only reason I get to talk to you right now. Because communicating in public or with a large number of people, to me, is pleasurable. It means impact. It means making a difference. It means all those things. Those would be 3 empowering ones. I told you earlier what some of my negative ones were. Making a lot of money, I linked up to pain. So I didn't have any. I'd make so much money, and then I sabotaged myself. So I thought making money, yeah, certain amounts okay, but too much money, oh boy, then it's not fair, because other people don't have as much as you do. I had all those negative associations. I linked up associations like eating lots of food means pleasure, or eating lots of food means love, and I gained 38 pounds as a result of it. So you got a list of empowering associations and disempowering ones. I want you to get those clearly, ones that have shaped your destiny. And I want you to do it right now. So take out your success journal, and I want you to think. And don't come up with the only ones, just come up with at least 3. What are 3 associations you've made in your life that have altered your destiny for the positive, that have shaped you as a person? And what are 3 neuroassociations that are disempowering you now? Just identify them. Now, by the way, if you wanted to get rid of them, all you have to do is link enough pain to keeping them and pleasure to changing them, and your brain will find a way. But we'll give you a step beyond that. On the next tape, we're going to study how to use the science of neuroassociative conditioning. Pull out your success journal, go